Hello everybody, welcome to this week's video. I'm going to be covering everything I use as a social media / content manager. I want to start with softwares that I use on my MacBook Pro. First is Planable. It is a social media scheduling software, so I use that to schedule YouTube videos, YouTube Shorts, Instagram posts, even Google Business Profile posts, which is what I do for work. I really love the other features that it has because you can actually plan your grid ahead of time and schedule posts in order so that your grid can look exactly how you want it to look. Second to that, I also use Publer, which is another social media scheduling platform. It works a little bit differently pricing wise. So you pay more per account rather than per workspace. So Planable uses a per workspace, which you get like 10 social accounts and they charge you by workspace. Publer, they charge you per account, which is a little bit better for scalability, so I also use that as well. I use Canva, obviously. I think people hate on Canva a lot, but as a graphic designer, I honestly don't mind Canva. It allows me to be more creative and do it more quickly, so it's very easy for social media posts. I use it for video thumbnails, and they kind of already have the templates, so you just customize it to fit exactly what you need. This might be a little bit out there, but I do use ChatGPT for work. Sometimes if you don't know a whole lot about what you're trying to produce content for, ChatGPT can be really helpful. I work in the home service industry and I don't know a whole lot, so I'll ask ChatGPT, hey, I need some recommendations for post ideas coming out of summer about home renovation. So it'll give me like a list of ideas, and then I will talk to it back and forth and narrow down, flesh it out, turn it into a 3 to 4 slide carousel post. I've used that to make really helpful and useful content on Instagram and Facebook. I definitely recommend ChatGPT. I do have the pro version and I promise it does make a difference. Next, for editing, I use Premiere Pro. Honestly, I use all Adobe softwares after doing college for 4 years and like doing all my schoolwork via Adobe softwares. I highly recommend Premiere Pro. It's a little bit of a learning curve, but once you get the hang of it, it's so capable. You can do so many things. And then lastly, I also use CapCut, and I do have CapCut Pro. It's so nice for trendy content. If I don't want to line things up, like line a series of photos to match the beat of the music perfectly, templates are so perfect for that. I think CapCut is the most efficient and most beneficial when you're trying to master short form content. So I definitely encourage you to use it in that area. I've not had much luck doing it with long form content. Like if I'm trying to create a YouTube video for one of our brand accounts, I think it lags a lot, especially when I'm recording a lot of things in 4K and 10-bit. I definitely prefer Premiere, and it just works faster, and I'm all about like an efficient workflow, so that's my 2 cents. I want to go into different apps that I use. First, I start with Notion. I love using Notion for kind of putting all of my content ideas together. I've really been able to figure out recently how to create templates that will best suit what I'm using it for. I could definitely go into a Notion tutorial on whatever it is that you think you'll need. I have a content calendar of when I want to post, when I want to film, when I'm going to edit, and all the things. And it really helps me keep myself on a strict schedule and kind of plan out what I'm doing. It's kind of like Monday, if you've ever used monday.com for tracking your tasks. So if that's your vibe, then I definitely recommend using that for whatever you need. Next, I use Pinterest. Pinterest is so good. I like to brainstorm Instagram feed ideas. So scrolling on Pinterest is like part of work now, which I think is really cool. If I'm ever stuck and I don't really have a solid idea for something, Pinterest is absolutely where I brainstorm. So I definitely recommend that as well. Next, I want to talk cameras and what all cameras do I have and what all do I use them for. So first, I have my Sony a7 IV and I currently have my Tamron 28-75 2.8 on it. This is the most versatile lens I think I've ever used. Being very in the photography world, I do a lot of research on lenses, and I feel like this is the perfect focal length for anything. Next is, this is the camera I had before I had the a7 IV, but that is the Canon R50, and I have a Sigma 18-50 2.8 lens. This is the first camera I ever got, and I love her to death. I do prefer this when I am doing informal photos. Like if I need to just take a quick photo of something and it's posed, I think this is the way to go. With the Sony a7 IV, It's so fast that I can capture really quick moments and not have my camera lag. And this definitely lags just because it's a slow camera. I also prefer the megabytes that I can get off the Sony a7 IV. So if I don't have a zoom lens, because it has so many megapixels, I'm able to zoom in and crop in the photo exactly where I need it. I would recommend the Canon R50 to anybody who's starting out and doesn't want to make a huge investment yet. I bought the body for $500 and it came with the kit lens. And then this lens was about $600, but upgrading from the kit lens to this made also a great difference because it has a 2.8 aperture. I can get this like really nice bokeh and depth of field whenever I'm really up close to something. I love her. She is so compact. She's amazing. I'm going to Europe actually next month and I will be bringing this and not the Sony a7 IV because of how big it is. So this is definitely like a really good lightweight travel option. The next camera I want to talk about is my pride and joy, the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. I love this thing. I've created so many kinds of content with it and I have a pretty irregular case on it right now because I put a bunch of attachments on my camera and it doesn't fit in like the case where you put it inside. So this is a really nice alternative and I can kind of just throw it in my bag and not worry too much about it. I think it can shoot like 4K up to 120, which is insane. It's really nice to be able to record stuff in 60 and 120 so you can get that really slow motion effect of somebody doing something. I think it's so good. I use it a little bit for vlogging. I think it can look artificial at times, so I try not to use it for my vlogging. It is such a good alternative if you're also trying to get into color grading because it can shoot 10-bit D-Log. So if you buy LUTs or just download some free LUTs somewhere, you can start learning how to color grade properly with something as simple as this and not have to invest in something like the FX30 or the A7 IV. So I think it's a great alternative. Lastly, I want to go over some equipment that I love and use so often. So first I want to start with the DJI Mini. This is the mini version of the Mic 2, which is really popular. I think that's been circulating a good bit. But these mics are literally so small. Like, look at that. It's literally just so perfect for anything that you would need where you want something kind of small. And also this connects via Bluetooth to the Osmo Pocket 3, which is also so nice. So if I'm on the go, I set up the Osmo Pocket on a tripod, hook this up via Bluetooth, and like that's it. I can control the audio levels from the Osmo. It also comes with this really tiny receiver and it's so cute and totally fits the like a mini package of this mic. I mean, you can control a good bit of the sound. There's not too many different things that you can tweak, but it is still so high quality, and I think this whole thing was maybe $200, nothing crazy. And then following that, I actually own the DJI Mic 2. So it comes in this case and then you just open it up. It has some cords and then some other stuff. So this is significantly bigger, which is why you have the mini and then you have like the original Mic 2. So just to show you all comparison in size of just the case, I mean, that's pretty significant to me. I think the height is about the same, but it's the width that's a little bit different. So if I open this one up in comparison, the mics are actually much bigger. You can kind of tell, like that's about like 2 inches, but it has so much that can go into it as well. Obviously, this is a little bit bigger, and it's still really portable. Even though it's bigger than the mini set, I do actually really like these. The receiver is a little bit bigger. It has this little, maybe like 1.5 inch screen, and you can control so many things. I can control the peaking level, bringing down just the overall decibel of each of the mics. I can enact like a noise canceling feature on the mic, which is also really cool because it'll get rid of any surrounding sound, even if you're in the middle of a place that's like obviously really busy. Again, this connects via Bluetooth to the DJI Osmo, but then if you want to connect it to a camera, it has this receiver and then like a 1/4 inch cable that'll go right into any sort of camera you're using. What I actually like about these mics is it comes with a little magnet on the back and you can hook it up to your shirt. What I do is I hook it up to the inside of the shirt and then all you see is the magnet on the outside, and it makes it look very subtle. It looks so good in videos too because it's not super bulky. But if you want to, there is a clip with this, so you could do that as well. Same thing goes for the mini mics. It has a magnet on the back. It's so small anyway that like, if this is there, I feel like that's already not very noticeable. But yeah, these are the 2 mics that I use. They come so highly recommended, and if you're looking for somebody else to tell you to get them, this is me telling you that these come highly recommended and I recommend them to you. So I think anything DJI nowadays is such good quality, and the fact that they're also compatible with each other and I can hook these up via Bluetooth to the Osmo Pocket, I think is literally insane. And you can actually start recording from your Osmo Pocket wirelessly through the mic. The other thing that I use really often with my Osmo Pocket is an ND filter. And if you don't know what an ND filter is, just think of it as like sunglasses for your camera. So obviously when you're out and about and you want to get a really nice depth of field and you want to keep your aperture low, but your image is slowly becoming more and more overexposed. Especially for video, I will say you don't really want to crank up your shutter speed unnecessarily. You want to keep it about twice of the FPS that you're running, which is frames per second. If I'm recording like 30 frames per second, I kind of want to keep my shutter speed around 1/60. And then your ISO can only go so low. So what you do is you put an ND filter on your camera and it darkens the image for you so that you can still maintain the camera settings you want. This is the last piece of equipment I kind of want to go over, and it is this tripod I got from Amazon. This is the most useful tripod I've ever had. The coolest part is like it can go up so high, like literally, like this is like still going. So I can use this for TikToks and I can use it for YouTube. If I'm doing like a sit down video, I can put it to like about there, but if I'm filming something standing up like a TikTok or something, it goes so high, like literally like about my height, and I'm like 5'1". I've literally had tripods where I've had to attach my camera to this and spin my camera around, and it gets very tedious, especially if you have a big camera. Luckily I've had like smaller cameras in the past, so it hasn't been too bad, but it's easier to just put your camera on and then just twist the bottom portion. That's like literally insane to me, rather than like turning the camera physically around to get it on. So that's why I love this tripod so much. Anyway, that is pretty much everything I use as a social media / content manager. I also have a huge collection of film cameras. Film photography is another one of my passions, so I definitely want to make a video in the future breaking that stuff down, and then just breaking down all the different cameras that I have. If you watched it till the end, I love you so much. Thank you for sticking around, and everything will be linked in the bio. So, love you guys. I'll see you next week.